What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. Wanted to come out here this morning and share with you guys what I was thinking about and have a little conversation with you. And the subject that I want to talk about in today's video is an issue of importance, because if you're unaware of this, you're probably going to be devastated. I should say, if you're not prepared for this, you're going to be devastated. But when you understand this, it's not really even so bad. And that is that no one's special and no one's safe in hookup culture, in this modern social media culture. And here's what I'm talking about. Now, the dating market out there, it's a big party that's going on. And all the women at this party just want to have fun. And if you're not the guy that they're having fun with, another guy will be. And, you'll see this take place. You could have a woman you've been talking to, maybe you've been dating, hooking up with, and the two of you go to a big party. Maybe you go out to the lake, meet a group of friends. You're all drinking, you're cooking out, you're having fun, you're in the water. And something comes up and you have to leave. So you say, hey, you know what, I'll catch you tomorrow. I got to take care of some business right now. I got to get out of here. Well, the second you leave, and this isn't even going to be planned by her, another man's going to step up and see that you're gone. And he's desperate. He ain't got no other options. So he's going to wait for the right moment and the right time to shoot his shot. And she wants to have a good time. She wants to have fun. She's going to go ahead and do it. She's going to hook up with him. A lot of guys are too sensitive to deal with that. A lot of guys respect themselves too much to deal with that. If you're in either of those categories, modern dating is going to frustrate the hell out of you. But it's true, that's the way it goes. Now, when I talk about this party, really it's a metaphorical party. And it relates to the 4 pillars of genuine desire that we talked about in the last video, which are transactional, validational, sexual, and emotional. If a woman wants to go to the transactional party, meaning she's at a stage in her life where she's looking for a man with money, well, you bet your ass she's going to try her best to find the best option in that category, the best provider. If she's at a stage in her life when she wants that validational, she's going to look for the validational. She's going to look for the most high status, pre-selected guy she can find that she can brag to her friends about. When a woman's at a stage of her life when she wants that sexual desire, she's going to find that hot guy, that guy that's sexually appealing. She's going to go to that party. And when she's at a stage when she wants that emotional connection, she's going to find a guy that she can have an emotional connection with. She's going to go to that party. And that's just the nature of the business, the nature of the game. And it's important that you understand this, because this is what having game is. This is what being red pill aware is. This is what being blue pilled is. Being blue pilled is not having the ability to decipher, to even see what she's looking for. So you just project what you want onto her and assume that the feelings are mutual. That's blue pilled. You have to understand what's going on. I'll tell you guys a story of myself when I was 18. When we're 18, we're pretty stupid. We don't realize how stupid we are, but we're really stupid. I don't even mean that as a joke. We're literally stupid. I was. I had met this girl. She was new to my city. She had just moved there. Real hot, exotic girl, 18 years old. Looked almost identical to Jennifer Lopez. Straight out of a magazine, straight out of a music video. everything about her from head to toe was perfect. I couldn't believe it, but she took interest in me. You know, she was really expressing a lot of desire for me. I was like, damn, like, I've never experienced something that was this easy. You know, it just happened this naturally. She just likes me this much. And our first time hanging out, she gets a hotel room and I meet her there and we end up hooking up. And by this time, I'm in love with this girl. I'm not even gonna lie. Every fabric of my existence belongs to this woman. I am head over heels in love. Whatever. At this point, there's nothing I can do about it. And as the weeks progressed, as months went on, I had discovered that she had another man she was talking to that was a sugar daddy. You know, he was probably in his late 30s, which is kind of young for a sugar daddy, but she was 18, so that's a big age gap. And this guy had bought her a car. Brand new car. Brand new, what was it? I think it was a Mustang. The GT Mustang. Not the greatest car in the world, but this dude bought her a car. That's how much he liked her, and that's how strong her game was, and how good she was at getting what she wanted. But for me, being a guy that's in love with her, didn't sit too well with me, you know. It hurt. I ain't afraid to admit it. I was dumb and 18. In my shoes, you can't see it from my shoes. You think this doesn't sound like much of an L. You're hooking up with a really hot girl. But I loved her and she didn't love me back. And come to find out, she had another dude, another boyfriend that was in a different state. And he was going to move over too. And he did move over. But before he moved over, I remember this was like the last straw that we had. I called her up and I was like, you know, I wanted to take her on a little picnic date. I know this sounds real bad, but I don't know what it was. I was just like, you know what, we'll set down a blanket. I know a spot we can build a fire, bring a cooler, a bottle of wine. Real romantic shit, right? Like, I didn't realize how soft I looked, but you know, we're all this way when we're young, right? I didn't realize how soft and stupid I looked. But she was like, I could tell by the tone of her voice, she was like repulsed by this. Right? I was just this guy that worked out, she wanted to experiment with, you know, have some fun, have some sex with. But me, I'm all being all romantic and fucking weak and shit, right? It repulsed her. So then, her other boyfriend moves in, and he gets he rents out a house, and she moves in with him. And this, guys, this is pitiful, but it was like 12:30 a.m. I had downed quite a few shots, and I go and I start pounding on their door at midnight. And I'm glad they didn't answer. I knew they were in there, but they must have probably saw me through the windows and they didn't answer. That would have been a real problem if they did, and I'm so glad they didn't. But that's how stupid I was. Yeah, it might not sound like the biggest L, like I said. You hooked up with a hot girl and whatever, she left you. But to me it was, you know, I was in love. That shit hurt. One of the next women that I talked to, I believe she was kind of like in the range of a rebound. Had met her on Plenty of Fish, POF. We met at a coffee shop. And you know, she's like, me and my brother got an apartment together, but he's gone right now, so we can go and watch a movie or something. And we go there, and I'm thinking we're going to watch a movie, and we're going to talk, and we're just going to enjoy ourselves and get to know each other. And she's hinting towards sex. Me being stupid and not even knowing what the hell's going on, I like didn't even see it that way. Eventually I had to leave, so I left. But I still wanted to talk to her, so I invited her on Saturday to go on a little picnic. I don't know what it is about this picnic shit, but I was a romantic, dumbass 18-year-old, right? You know, nice cool bottle of wine, the two of us chilling out on a blanket, talking. And she was like, that's cute, whatever. And she's like, okay, can you pick me up? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I go to pick her up, and as soon as I pull up, she's like, I'm not quite ready yet, can you come in? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I go in, she starts giving me oral, starts sucking me. And, you know, we end up just hooking up, and no picnic to be had. You know, and that's the fullest extent of the relationship she and I had. We would just hook up. So I started to believe in my mind, I'm like, well, shit, these women are not as romantic as I was led to believe. Men are romantic. We're the ones that buy women flowers, buy women chocolates, ask them out on dates. We're the romantic ones. These women, they just have whatever need they want to be met at that time, and that's what they go for. And sometimes it's an emotional need, and they do want a relationship, and they do want the romantic thing, but depending on what their needs are, and women probably see us the same way, to be honest with you, but it's important to know this, right? Because when you become emotionally attached to a woman that wants one of those other three, transactional, validational, or sexual, you're going to look like a damn fool. And you're going to get your heart broken and blindsided and devastated. So you got to understand these things. I remember the first time a woman put me in that transactional category. You know, and by the way, when I was 18, the sexual category was the only thing I had going for me. I worked out, wasn't bad looking. I didn't make shit for money. You know, no 18-year-old has high status and is highly pre-selected, right? You got to start at the bottom. And women didn't see me as a long-term investment, so the sexual thing was the only thing I had going. But I remember the first time a woman threw the transactional thing at me. It was a woman I had met on a dating app. And I'm going to be honest, she wasn't even like on par with most of the women that I would date. She was very mid. And she and I were talking, we were texting back and forth for weeks maybe. And I was like, you know what, I'll probably give this girl a chance. She seems cool. And then she sends me a text and she's like, hey, can you send me $100? And I'm just thinking, you know, I don't really know you well enough to send you $100. Like this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't really know you like that. But I was still a little bit confused, and she was like, you know, I'm confused because I'm like, you know, maybe I'll give this girl a chance. If she's cool, if she has a good personality, if she proves to me she's worth it, maybe I'll give her a chance and take her seriously. But she throws out that line, and I'm just like so confused. But then when I tell her I don't really know you well enough to send you $100, she's like, really? She's like, do you think girls on these apps are really looking for something serious? Do you think we see you guys as something serious? We just want your money. And I was like, so offended. A little bit butthurt. I ended up blocking her right away. I was like, holy shit. Like, I was going to give this girl a chance, and she actually has zero personality. She actually has nothing to offer me at all. But she wants things in return. This is pitiful. But unfortunately, you'll run into a lot of that in this hookup culture. You really will. A lot of guys probably run into that more than they run into any of the other things. Now, the validational pillar, that one's not so bad. It's actually kind of cool. You know, if you're the cool guy at the party, the cool guy in the neighborhood, or the buff guy in the gym, or the manager in the office, or whatever, you know, in your local environment, if you're kind of at the top of that hierarchy, it's kind of cool. It's a cool experience. You know, you kind of get the rock star experience where women want you validationally. You know, they want to prove to themselves and to their friends that they can have you. So they kind of compete for you. That's a cool element. I've experienced that a few times too, but the problem with that one is it feels really superficial, it feels fake, and you know it's not going to last forever. So my experiences with that, I don't necessarily have any cool stories about, but I will say when you're in that position, it's short-lived. They'll move on to the next very quickly. You know, the second you're not the hot one anymore, the popular one anymore, they'll move on to the next. Now obviously we covered the sexual one, but I think deep down what most guys are looking for, and I'll tell you myself, I won't take a woman seriously if she doesn't prove to me that she's looking for that emotional pillar, that she sees me as somebody that she's in love with and she wants to be with. You know, a lot of guys are worried about shit testing women, or about women shit testing them, I should say. If a woman's shit testing you, she's trying to determine which one of those first 3 pillars she can use you for. That's what a shit test is. Can she get money out of you? Are you a sucker? Are you pre-selected? Are you high value? Are you high status? Or are you the hot guy that she can hook up with? You know, are you the aloof dumb jock that she can hook up with? And she'll shit test you to figure out which one of those you are. But if a woman sees you as a long-term emotional investment, she actually loves you and she wants to be with you, she won't be shit testing you. As a matter of fact, it's your responsibility to test her to determine if she's in that category. And the way you do this, I talked about this in my last video a little bit as well, but you want to do things like, after you've broken the touch barrier and the two of you are already to a point where maybe you're sleeping with each other, or at least you're kissing and things like that, you just want to grab her, pull her close into you. You know, put your arms around her, give her a kiss. When you're driving, put your hand on her hand and look over at her. Grab her by the chin and pull her into you and give her a kiss. Do things like that. And if she melts, you know, if she feels safe and protected in your arms and she never wants to leave and she misses you when you're gone, she passes that test. But if she's looking for any of those other 3, she wants to go to the transactional party, the validational party, or the sexual party, but not the emotional party, she's going to be repulsed. And this is why women pull back when men get vulnerable. It's because she wants one of those other 3. She doesn't see you as that emotional investment. But that's okay. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and open up, because you need to see. You need to open up this door and discover, what's this woman want from me? Because damn sure, if she only wants you for your money and you start getting emotional, she's going to throw up and leave. If she only wants you for sex and you start getting emotional, she's going to stop wanting sex from you. If she only wants you because you're popular and high status, the second she attains you, your status drops. It's like buying a car off the lot. The value drops in half every time, and the grass will be greener somewhere else. So when you get emotional in that category, obviously even worse, right? But you guys have to understand, it's very strange out there, and the way that you naturally think it's going to be, it's not like that in real life. It's just not. You know, you have to be smart enough to be on your toes, but when a woman is emotionally invested in you, it's not so bad. You know, that's a woman that you can probably settle down with and start a family with. Which leads me to the next roadblock you're going to run into. Even though you understand all of this stuff, there's another roadblock you'll run into. And that is that the modern state of humanity, of where we're at right now, I don't think cohabitation is in style. I think the majority of men and women out there, you know, we all have a biological imperative. We all want to have children. Instinctively, it's just a primitive desire. But we don't want to cohabitate. We want our freedom. I think most guys would actually choose dating a woman, getting her pregnant, and just throwing some child support and taking care of the kid a couple times a month or maybe once a week or something. And most women out there would like the same. You know, they want to have a child, but they don't want to cohabitate with a man. I'm not saying I think it should be this way, or I think society's better this way. I just think that's what we've pushed, or what we've evolved into with all the modern technologies. And women show that this is what they want through family court system. They divorce all the time, right? They show they want to be single. You know, it's strange, but that's sort of what we've evolved into. I look at all the videos out there, all the articles you read, and all the guys you hear saying, yeah, they don't want to cohabitate. That's not what they're looking for. A lot of women are the same way, and they prove that. And then you factor in the next roadblock, which is what social skills have evolved into. In this social media era, we have most people's concept of socializing and getting to know people is swiping on apps, you know, hunting and pecking for the next person you can hang out with. Anyone that says yes, the best option that says yes. You know, it's not even, like, the human aspect of it is kind of gone. It's just whatever. It's just you have these desires and you're looking at pictures and swiping and trying to see who can meet those desires. And that's kind of how we do it in this day and age. Now that can be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you're somebody that understands, like, the bar is so low right now, if you just have like the slightest bit of social skills and you go out and you talk to some women, a lot can happen. If you're smart and you're aware of how to navigate, a lot can happen, and you can accomplish almost anything you want to accomplish. But it's also becoming more of a challenge to do that, because, you know, the ease, just how easy it's become with social media, with technology. You know, it's easy to be lazy. Even if you don't find the person that you want to be with, for a lot of guys out there, you know, you watch, maybe you're hell-bent on finding a woman to hook up with today. And that's your goal. You're going to make it happen. You don't care. You'll start with the 10s and you'll work your way all the way down to the 1s. Whatever it takes to accomplish it. Then you watch some porn and you get the job done yourself, and all of a sudden your urge to do that's gone. You could go around to, but the urge to do it's gone. That's another roadblock of technology, right? This is kind of where we're at and what we're struggling with. And then you factor in the economical factors. You know, we could just go on and on all day, but in the 1900s, it was pretty much a given that you'd have a decent job, you'd own your own slice of property, you know, and you'd have the means to settle down and start a family. And that was standard. If you didn't have those things, you were like very low, like you were at the bottom scraping. But now that's the middle class. That's where most people are at. They're not hitting these benchmarks. They're in their 30s and they haven't accomplished these things. They're not finding the jobs they want. They're not buying homes. They're not creating the means to start a family. Only the gifted people are. But again, you can still accomplish it. It's gotten easier, but it's gotten harder. Now, you can still make it happen. But, you know, there's a lot of challenges taking place. But the key is to understand there's going to be guys, and this is kind of a brutal truth pill, but there's going to be guys well below you that accomplish way more than you just because they've become aware of the nature of not just female nature, but male nature and the guys behind your back trying to steal your girl away from you and all these things that happen. But understanding those 4 pillars and really determining, just saying, okay, obviously she's here. She wants me for something. She wouldn't be here if that were not the case. So I'm good for something, but what does she see me as being good for? And if she's not invested in you emotionally, based on your actions, how she responds to them, you know, don't take her seriously. Don't be a fool. A lot of guys are. They're fools because they don't know what's going on. But I think all women are capable of any of those 4 pillars, depending on which party they want to go to at the moment. And by the way, women probably see us the exact same way. But I'm not here to give that sort of advice. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but most of my audience are guys trying to navigate their way, so we're talking about this part of it. And it's up to you to determine where she's at. And I would say, lastly, typically women between the ages of 18 to 25 are just looking for the sexual and the validational pillars. Once they get past 25, they start to look for that transactional pillar. And at any age, any given time, young or old, they have the potential to be looking for that emotional pillar, assuming they're not a narcissist. So that's why it's up to you. If that's what you want, if that's what you want to accomplish, something long term, you have to really determine, you know, you have to not be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because this is your test. That's how you discover if she's in it, if she's serious about it. You know, if you fail to run those tests and you get blindsided, oh, she just wanted you for sex, but you were in love with her. Now you look like a simp. She just wanted you for money, but you're in love with her. Now you're a trick and you're a simp. Oh, she just wanted you because you were the cool guy at the time. You were the shiny new watch. But once you put the watch on, it loses half of its value. Now she's gone and you're looking like a simp again. We've all been there. But it's easy to stay out of that spot as well. Find yourself one that really likes you. You know, move forward from there. Or just stay single if that's your thing. I won't judge you. Alright guys, I think that pretty much closes up this video, and I hope this was somewhat informative. And that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.